You feel it every second of every day, right? The ticking of the clock, the sun rising and setting, that constant, relentless feeling that time is a river carrying us forward. But what if I told you that entire feeling is a magnificent illusion? That's what we're digging into today, one of the biggest and most mind-bending mysteries there is. So let's just start right there. What is time? I mean, really, try to define it. It's surprisingly hard, isn't it? It's like trying to describe the color blue to someone who's never seen it. We organize our whole lives around it, but is it a fundamental part of the universe? Or is it just a ruler that we humans invented? You know, this is a famous line that physicists love to use, and it's a great starting point. It paints time as this cosmic traffic cop, right? It makes sure events happen in an orderly line. But is that order really out there, or is it just in our heads? To figure this out, we need to follow the clues. And our first stop? Well, it's not in space. It's right between your ears. Yep, that's our first big clue. It turns out our brain isn't just a passive witness to time passing by. No, no. Neuroscientists are now realizing that our brain is actively building our experience of time, moment by moment. Let's see how it pulls off this incredible trick. A neuroscientist named David Eagleman has this great way of putting it. He says your perception of time isn't like a video camera, perfectly recording what happens. It's actually a story your brain is telling you a split second after the events have already happened. And the craziest part? Your brain can totally stretch, shrink, and re-edit that story. You've probably felt this yourself. You know that cliche about a car crash happening in slow motion? That's a real phenomenon. But time itself doesn't slow down. What happens is your brain, in panic mode, just starts recording memories with incredible detail. So later when you play back that memory, it's so dense with information that it feels like it must have taken forever. It's a complete illusion created by your memory. Okay, get ready for this, because it happens to you all day, every day. Go ahead, snap your fingers. Your brain processes sound way, way faster than it processes sight. So the electrical signal for the sound of that snap actually gets to your brain before the signal for the sight of your fingers hitting each other. So, what does your brain do with these two signals arriving at different moments? It performs an incredible magic trick. It holds onto the sound signal for just a fraction of a second, waits for the slower sight signal to catch up, and then bundles them together and presents it to you as one single event. It literally edits reality to create a story that makes sense, which means, and this is wild, you are always living just a little bit in the past. Your consciousness is always on a slight delay. All right, so our perception of time is definitely flexible. Our brains are constantly fudging the numbers. But what about the real thing, time out there in the universe? For that, we got to jump from neuroscience to physics, where one man completely demolished our idea of what time even is. For hundreds of years, the world ran on Isaac Newton's idea of time. He imagined it was this universal clock, a cosmic metronome, ticking away at the exact same rate for everyone, everywhere. Simple, intuitive. But then along comes Albert Einstein, who says, nope, it doesn't work like that. He argued that time is actually relative. It can literally speed up and slow down depending on how fast you're moving and how strong the gravity is around you. And this isn't just some wacky theory. It's a proven fact. In 2010, scientists took two of the most precise clocks on Earth, synchronized them, and then just lifted one of them up by a foot. That's it. And you know what? The higher clock, because it was ever so slightly farther from Earth's gravity, literally ran faster than the one on the floor. Gravity actually bends time. Let that sink in. See, Einstein's big breakthrough was realizing that space and time aren't separate things. They're woven together into this four-dimensional fabric he called spacetime. Big objects like planets and stars don't just sit in spacetime, they warp it. They create dips and curves. And that warping is what we feel as gravity. Time is a physical dimension of our universe. Okay, so if time is a physical dimension, just like length or width or height, that leads to an idea so bizarre, so completely counterintuitive, that it changes absolutely everything. This is the question that just breaks your brain. If time is laid out like a landscape, doesn't that mean every single moment, the dinosaurs roaming the earth, you listening to this right now, and whatever happens 1,000 years from now are all equally real, all existing simultaneously on that landscape? This is the block universe theory, And honestly, the best way to wrap your head around it is to think of the entire universe as a giant cake. The Big Bang is one end of the cake, the very end of time is the other. And every single event that has ever happened or ever will happen is already baked into that cake. Your life is a certain path through the ingredients. And what we call now, the present moment, that's just the one slice of the cake you happen to be experiencing. So, in this view, time doesn't flow at all. The cake isn't moving, the river isn't flowing. That feeling of time passing is just an illusion created by your consciousness as it lights up one slice and then the next and then the next in sequence. Okay, so we've looked inside our heads and we've looked out into the cosmos. Let's put the clues together. After all this, what's the final verdict in the case of the mystery of time? And here's where it all connects so beautifully. Physics tells us the block universe is likely real. That whole landscape of time exists. But neuroscience tells us that the feeling of moving through it, that sense of flow, is a story our brains tell us. And it's a story that evolved for one very important reason. Why would our brains create this illusion? It's all about survival. Think about a hockey goalie. If they perceived every moment of the puck's flight all at once, they'd be paralyzed. To make a save, they need to experience a simple, linear story. The puck was there, now it's here, so it's going to be there next. Our brains filter out the overwhelming reality of the block universe and give us a simple cause and effect story so we can actually function and, not get eaten by a tiger. And so we end up right back where we started, with the guy who rewrote the clock. The flow of time, that feeling that is so central to our lives, to our very being, is an illusion. A useful one, a convincing one, a stubbornly persistent one, but an illusion all the same. And that leaves us with a huge, unsettling question. If the past isn't really gone and the future is already there, what does that mean for things like free will, for regret? What does it even mean to be in the moment? The physics might have given us a new map of reality, but now it's up to us to figure out how to live in it.